Welcome to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity's going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Webb.
Hello. What's up, Smitt?
What's up? I'm Smith. That's Webb, and we are the Wager Makers, and this is the Wager Maker Podcast. Thank you all for listening. We got all kinds of picks tonight. We'll talk about some stuff that happened last week. We got the NBA draft, I think, is going on tonight, soon. Lots of MAC football Tuesday and Wednesday night. We got a big game Thursday night, big NFL game, big weekend coming up. Some Saints news. As usual, I'll bring you some Saints news. Sorry, Jets fans out there. I don't know what we'll be talking about them.
April's coming, Jet fans. The draft is coming. Don't worry.
I might actually have a compliment for the Jets fans this week that I think the Jets played the Patriots better than our Ravens did when we took them the other day, even. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but Webb,
I would have to agree.
This is episode number 70, Wager Maker Podcast number 70.
Number 70, Smith. Now I'm back in the garage. It's getting cold here in Jersey. I just checked the way it says 30 degrees. I don't know if it's that cold, but it's cold. I got my gear on here. No sponsorships, but we are available to any and all. We are for sale. I cannot emphasize that anymore. Number 7, episode number 70. Time flies. I was sweating my ass off, and now I'm freezing my ass off. So soon enough, we'll be at episode 140. I'll be sweating and freezing again. Anyways, first name number that came to mind was Jim Marshall. You know, that iconic video, whatever you see, the guy running the wrong way, number 70 on the Minnesota Vikings defensive lineman, took the touchdown the wrong way. And then I knew there was a Cowboy. You mentioned it. Rayfield Wright was an old school, even before the Cowboy. Back to Roger Staubach days, number 70, Hall of Famer. Rayfield Wright's number 70 gets my vote. So all day, every day.
Right. Certainly the Marshall video was just iconic of us. Our whole lives we've seen that one. Dude picks up the fumble, scoops up the in the wrong way, trying to catch, and then before they know what's going on, he throws the ball up in the air and celebrates. They can't even turn him around and get him out the 1 yard line or something like that.
It was like Crab in high school, Smith, when he dunked on the wrong. He was all happy to see, but I was on the bench. Me and Herm Sorts are cracking up. He dunked on the wrong basket, jumped up and down, all happy. Oh, here it is, Smith.
That didn't take long. Wager Maker Express. Yeah. I think they just planted it now around the podcast.
We got to do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the Wager Makers. That's what it's called. That's what the line is called. It's not Jersey Shore Coastline. It's Wager Makers Express.
So we got lots of action tonight. We had action last night. Tonight, three more MAC games. We got the over. Looks like the over in this Western Michigan, Central Michigan's looking pretty solid early on. They got 21 points in the very early. We took Northern Illinois plus some points. They're up 7-0. So we'll see how these games turn out.
I cannot tell you how awesome the MAC is, though. It is probably one of the most ingenious things I've seen in a while. Just last night, it's on. I had the clicker in my hand. 3 games, 3 channels, 3 nationally tied. Watched every game. Tonight, same deal. I think it's 4. There was 2 last night. I think one got canceled. Whatever it was, you're seeing the lion's share. And this tonight are the better teams. Buffalo's a very good team. They will have some pros next year, but they're one of the good teams. These teams tonight are probably the better in terms of the depth of the league. So it's good football, man, like we were saying.
And again, why compete with the Michigans and Ohio States of the world on Saturday afternoons, even though they stink? Not Ohio State, obviously, but Michigan. Why? But even though they stink, why not put yourself on national TV on Tuesday and Wednesday night? Everybody's watching.
I can't imagine what's going to happen for the recruiting, and not only that, it's going to lift everything. That money is going to help out every sport. The entire university is going to benefit, and it's just. Right. It's just smart. It's common sense, and it's if common sense ruled the day, we'd be in a much better position just in general. So
right. We talked about it during the Korean baseball and all. Like, why don't they put these games on when you can watch them at 4 o'clock?
I bet you if they could slip them on Tuesday nights or something, even now they'd get something.
Right. So Webb, I invested in the show this week. I bought some props. I was at the pharmacy the other day, and they had this little thing, and it's got yes and no buttons, and they got like noises come out of them.
No one to hit the button.
Yeah. Can you hear that?
Well, yeah.
Nice. Now we're like a morning.
Yes.
So, and I figured like when I don't even know what I'll use them yet for. I figure
Right.
when I agree on something, I'll press a yes or button, and when I disagree on something, we'll press the no button and see. But I only have 2 batteries, and that's not enough for both of them. So I got the yes going. Sometime during the middle of the show, I'm going to change the batteries and hear what the no has to say.
They don't sell pharmacies don't sell batteries in Louisiana.
I didn't realize at the time that I needed batteries, and then so when I got home, I just had 2 AAAs sitting around, and so it takes 4, two each, 2 each. So
yeah, times are tough. Times are tough.
So Doug, you can't say I don't invest in this thing, man.
Yeah.
No, money is no odd.
No doubt.
Money is no odd. Speaking of money, we almost again the survivor pool. We're still 3 people hanging strong. Doug Walsh, Chad Arnold, and you Webb hanging strong in the survivor. I think Doug or Chad might have had New Orleans last week. And then both you and somebody else had Green Bay, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
This week I'm very torn. I'm torn. I think, and even in the big one that we're in, Pittsburgh for me is a pick, but I took them early on. That to me is the easiest layup on there. I do have the Saints available. I'm not taking the Saints in either.
I would James.
Yeah, I think that they, going 5-0 last year with Teddy, and that whole they're that's a slippery slope. That whole team, I think. Yep. Not that they're not good, but they could implode, I think, in any minute. I don't want to risk it. I did take, who did I take? Oh, my new team, the Los Angeles Chargers in both. So against the Jets, I may hedge. I'm not excited about taking both of them. Weeks past, I've done it and not even worried about it. I'm thinking about taking one, the Vikings in one or the other. I'm just not sure which one. So
I got to admit, I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this week's. It's always against the Jets. Is a good play. Chargers are a good team. They lost to the Dolphins, but man, the Dolphins are good. The Dolphins play good.
Like 6-3.
Yeah,
but the choice is taking a 2-7 team, right? That's the Chargers against an 0-9 team that sucks, traveling across the country, and the other one is the Cowboys, which suck too, but they showed a little bit of signs of life. I could just see Kirk Cousins doing me in. Yeah, is what I'm really afraid of. And they're only 4, and it's not like they're real good, but they are playing much, much better, the Vikings. So
they've won. I think they've won 3 straight now, the Vikings. So
they're playing well, and yeah, I mean they are. You put it on paper, and
they're one Kirk Cousins away from screwing you at any time.
And that's what I'm saying, and I just think
the 3 picks, 2 or 3 picks. But the Vikings have kind of learned their lesson lately, and they've really been pounding the rock with Dalvin.
That's it. Yep.
Even when it wasn't really working for a while the other night against the Bears, they didn't stop. They just kept handing it to him. That's
the key. You're limiting Cousins, mistakes. Hand the ball, and he's happy to hand it off. He ain't all living out of that shit.
Right. Yeah. He'll hand it off for $20-something million a year. And then all he's got, and then that does when you show that you really are committed to it, it does open things a little bit. That Jefferson, the kid from LSU, was running around wide open. The secondary, Thielen had a couple big plays, just enough to beat. Man, the Bears' offense is just horrible.
That's one of those teams too. I just shake my head. I'm just waiting for Nagy to be fired. I mean, it's got to be coming. There's no. I guess he doesn't call plays, so they're the first, and they did what? They scored 3 points. They're just. That's just horrible too, and that's a crying shame because they got some ballers on defense.
Right. Well, he gave up the play calling duties last week, and I'm sure nothing makes him more happier than for.
Oh yeah, right.
When that happens, so like, I fucking told you it wasn't me. It's not me.
He would have been bummed out if it was 41. They scored 41 points. Oh shit, I'm out the door.
Right. Yeah, right. So, all right. So that's the survivor. Our college football pool still has Reed in front, but Little Saint the Goat, man, had an awesome 9-1 record this week with the 10. So he moved himself up there to second place. Scott Wheatley's in third. Gary is in tied for third with 44. Webb, you have 42, and I got 41. I'm right on your heels. And then Todd Lewis, Chad Arnold, and the interns way in the back there.
He's probably punting. Yeah. This week is the week probably I was felt least confident about in a while. So let's see how I do this week. It's tough. This week is tough in the college, in my opinion. But we'll talk about it obviously later. But I didn't see much when I put my picks in.
Get tough, man. I felt so good about our NFL picks last week, Webb. I was on Instagram. I was on Facebook. I was pumping it out there. I commented on some people's, like, we're like mutual friends with some people that are like big Cleveland Browns fans. I'm like,
oh yeah. They're everywhere.
To listeners, and I'm like, oh man, like we're on the Browns this week. We're on the Browns, man. And so I gave them the list of our picks. I'm on this other Facebook page. It's got all these sports betting sites on. I'm like, this is the wager makers. Here's a free slate of the picks.
Yeah, winners. Go order the Mercedes.
Yeah, we got clobbered.
Yeah.
But man, some bad beats, Webb. Two brutal beats. We had Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns were laying 4 points. They were up by 3. And really up by 10 at some points late in the game, I think. And then Houston came back and scored a touchdown to make it 10-7. So you're like, oh shit, it was a real terrible Cleveland nasty weather day. And you're like, man, we got to figure out.
They delayed the start of the game too for a while. Yeah, that was rough.
And then Nick Chubb takes off down the sideline, which you're waiting like, oh, thank you.
Right.
That was the early game Sunday. We're like, oh, we're gonna get off to a good start.
Oh, yeah.
Dude runs out of bounds at the 1 yard line. When did these running backs become so smart that they're like, it's just better for the team to do this?
Right. I mean, we discussed this earlier. Like, it's not. I understand. Like when they did it, I don't know. Someone did it in the Super Bowl or whatever. Todd Gurley was supposed to do it earlier in the season. That's so the other team doesn't get the ball back in under either 8 points or 3 points or whatever. If you're gonna go up by 10, it don't fucking matter.
You go up by 2 scores. Go up by 2 scores.
They cannot win. They're not going to. Even if they march down and score a touchdown, you're still in the same exact spot you were with that much time less off the clock.
Then on the next time, take a knee.
Right. Exactly.
You're up by 2 scores. All right.
Yeah.
Then I got Arizona. I think we had them laying 3. Some people had them laying 2.5. A lot of people had them laying 2.5. They're up by 3 with under a minute left. Playing pretty good D. All second half, they kind of stopped the Bills. All of a sudden, the Bills start marching. It's like, all right. And this was the fourth leg of a 4-team parlay we got on Arizona.
That money counted more than once too. He threw a pick. Allen threw a pick at one point. I'm like, oh fuck! I even switched it off. I started putting work in on other games.
Moving down the field, and you're like, oh shit. Well, and then you're like, well, if they kick a field goal and tie, I can still come back and win, get to overtime, still win, or kick the field goal in overtime or before regulation, still get a push on that one, whatever. Or a win, And then all of a sudden they get in field goal range and it's like, oh shit, they still got like 40 seconds left. You're like, oh man, this is tough. And then sure enough, he hits Diggs down the sideline for a touchdown.
That was a sweet catch.
So then you're like, all right, well, there's still 34 seconds left. We'll see what happens. Maybe we get a miracle. But even I think I texted you at one point before the Hail Mary pass that even if they score, Arizona's not going to kick the extra point.
Right.
Because there was no especially if they did it with less than 10 seconds left.
Right. There's no chance. They wouldn't take a chance.
40 seconds left and you kick the extra points. They were up by 3. You need a field goal to tie us. But they basically did it on the last play of regulation. Maybe there was 1 or 2 seconds left. My last chance was one of those balls where you kick it off and they flip it all around and the dude picks it up.
Yeah, right. Where you intercept it. Right.
By the way, I never give up. Yeah. I'm always thinking about that stupid play that maybe something can happen.
Hey, man, listen, if we were on whoever the Browns played, we would have that if we were. Trip, fall down, motherfucker.
Yeah, our guys never step out. When it's other foot, the other guys never step out of bounds.
No.
They always kick the extra point.
Right.
So some bad beats, but we went, I think we were like 3-6-1 in the NFL last week, and that dropped us, Webb, to 17 out of 74.
That's not what we needed. That's all right. We need a big week.
We need a week here. We need a week here is what I'm trying to say. So bad.
Yeah, 8-2. Big
news in New Orleans down here. First of all, this week started out with the Saints got in big trouble, Webb, for their victory dance in the locker room after the game the week before, after the Tampa Bay game. NFL cracking down. So
man,
you can play football. You can be in the huddle with dudes.
Yeah.
You can tackle them. You can
a
jump
scrum.
fumble. You can be on the sideline with the guys the entire game. You can do the pump up dance or whatever the hell it is that you jump around on the players. You can get in turnover and everybody runs together down in front of that little TV screen in the end zone and jumps all over themselves doing the snap
Just
thing.
match that pose, a b-boy pose.
But in the locker room after the game, you have to be distanced and masked.
Yeah. Well, I think on the sideline, technically, you're supposed to have a mask on when you're on the bench, I think. But who knows? Yeah, man. I mean, they're not messing around. That's one of the things. I think the Raiders got hit pretty hard, a fine, and then they're actually taking draft picks from them, or a draft pick, I think, which is, I mean, that's value. That's a commodity. So, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I can't agree with it, disagree with it. It is obviously, I don't even, hypocritical. I'm not sure if that's even a word. It just doesn't make, you can do one thing, but you can't do the other. I don't know. I'm not complaining they're playing football. Put the fucking mask on in the locker room, man. What do you want me to tell you?
All right. It's just to me, the hypocrisy. And I'm not downplaying the coronavirus. I get it. And by the way, it seems like we're moving forward to more crazy shit going on here again. This coronavirus, this podcast is almost like going to be a time capsule for us. Somewhere down the line of, I remember the first night they canceled all the NBA games. We were actually on the air.
You're on.
One. And then by the time we were done, NBA season was over.
Yeah.
So,
right. And I was in New York on 9/11 too. Not good, Smitt. I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Talking about a guy who'd been around Katrina, all this fucking shit too.
Right.
Whatever. But anyway,
They're
this is like
shit down here in Jersey again. They've made some new restrictions back again. No, can't sit at a bar anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Is it seems like it's heading that way all across the board, all across the United States. But that's what I was getting to was one thing you can count on is we'll be here. The wager makers will be here.
Right.
Hopefully we're still playing sports and we don't have to break out the guitar and the scotch again.
That's right.
But, let's see what the no says.
No.
It just says no in different ways.
No.
All right. There we go. That might come in handy next time we have an intern competition or something.
You're right.
All right. So, let's see. What else happened? Big week. Dustin Johnson kicked everybody's ass in the in the Masters. Unbelievable.
So much for a left.
Yeah. Some guy's got the life. His wife is Wayne Gretzky's daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
They flew off in a private jet to the Caribbean after the win. I think
that's where they came. Is that where they came from?
I don't know. I don't think they came from the Caribbean.
Who cares? Why wouldn't they? He's playing golf somewhere nice.
Yeah, that's true.
He ain't playing golf in cold weather. He ain't playing golf in Jersey.
Listen, shit, we're hanging out in the Caribbean. I got the Masters this week. We'll fly back, play 4 days at the Masters, and we'll come back.
All right. Why not? Yeah, now he's going to go every time. He was in the Caribbean before. He's going to live there now. Win the fucking Masters. Why change?
So, but kudos to him.
Your boy DeChambeau, always an issue, like you said.
Always an issue.
Everything.
He lost the ball.
48-inch, whatever. 48-inch, whatever, driver or whatever it was. I mean, he can crank the ball. There's no doubt, but obviously there's issues with his game, so he hasn't outsmarted hasn't reinvented the mousetrap or whatever.
Right. So, and he's always got issues. He lost like on the first day, his third hole, he did terrible. The second day, I think he lost the ball. They couldn't find it. It plugged somewhere, so he had to go back, take it. He couldn't believe that. Well, wait, if I lost the ball, I got to take a penalty on. I mean, it's like,
you don't know the rules.
Yes, that's how it works. That's how it works.
You're a pro. You're professional.
It just seems like every week you watch him, they talk shit about him, and they hype him up, and then he's a non-factor other than the off the course almost thing. And then he says after, man, I've been dizzy, I've been sick, I don't know what's the matter with me.
Your boy Bernard Langer beat him. He's 63.
Like 63 years old, and I think he ended up like 2 or 3 under or something.
That's great.
So, all right, big news. Drew Brees, Webb, 5 broken ribs and a collapsed lung, and now it's time.
What's the second opinion? The dude can't read the X-ray? Is it broke or is it not broke? You got to go to and then second opinion. Go same thing. Yeah, it's broke, dude.
I think they want a second opinion to know how long he's going to be out, to know whether to put him on IR or not. That's the question.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes, I guess, some semblance of sense. But it's only 3 games. I can come right off anyway, I think. I don't think it even matters this year, does it?
Right. I think so. The IR nowadays is 3 games, which he's not. I would imagine he's not going to be back in 3 games anyway.
Right. I mean, I don't even know that they might not even need him back in 3 games. I mean, depending on what goes on.
You got to try and get that number 1 spot and get that bye week's going to be even more.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge advantage.
But
huge.
I'll tell you, there was a lot of people. Look, I was critical of Drew Brees early in the season. It's no question his arm strength isn't there like it was, even though he's hit other plays than earlier on. But he's played phenomenal this year. But even during all that, there was a lot of people calling for Jameis. I can't believe there's people in New Orleans calling for Jameis.
Well, it's the best job in the history of jobs, a backup quarterback.
So we'll see. I'm rooting for him. I'm pulling for him. It's his time to go get it. Like they're down here to saying, go get your bag, Webb. Go get your bag. That means go get your bag of money.
Oh yeah, all right. Just
it's on a 1-year deal. He's on a 1-year deal here. This is his chance. Just like Teddy Bridgewater got his bag of money last year.
Sure did. Teddy solidified himself as a starter somewhere, always. Right. I was a big fan of Jameis coming out of. I thought it was a great pick by Tampa Bay. I did, like I said, it's the famous quote is, I thought his stupidity would be an asset in the NFL. It turned out it's not, but maybe it will still be. Maybe it will. Let's see what happens. Many a guy, including Drew Brees, has flourished on the second iteration of everything. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm not rooting against him. I got nothing against him. He did some stupid shit as a kid. I do stupid shit as a 50-year-old man, so I don't hold any of that bullshit against him. You just got to throw it to the right color uniform and let's see what happens. But I do think just based on talent, he will get it. If he shows anything that's not horrendous, he'll get a shot somewhere.
Sure. So I'm pulling for him. We'll see how it goes. All those people that were calling for Jameis, we'll see how that works out. The Kamara press conference after the game was hilarious. They're asking him questions. What it's like. What it's like if to have Jameis instead of. He's like, well, Jameis doesn't just come here on Sundays. He's at the same practice every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with us all too. It's not anything different. And he's like, well, what was it like to be in the huddle with Jameis? And he's like, well, here's what happened. Coach Payton sent in a play to Jameis, and then he told us to play, and then we went out and ran it. It was funny. Everything you said was just well, here's what happened. He sent us a play. Jameis told us what the play was, and then we went out and ran the play. That's what happened. So. All right, so this will be fun. We'll see. It's interesting. It's going to be fun to watch this week because obviously
this week. Oh, Atlanta. I mean, yeah. I'm still waiting for Atlanta to play well. They should, based on everything, they should handle Atlanta. I mean, Matt Ryan sucks. I mean, he's living on 4 or 5 years ago here, so they should win this game. And I mean, they're getting damn close to that number 1. I would think, right? Yeah, well, they've won. I think since they lost their coach, I think they've won 3 out of 4 since they fired. Yeah. Well, that happened. That's
3 out of 4. So we'll see with Jameis. Jameis has to look, man. This team's it's kind of like a college team when you take over. All you got to do is dump the ball out to Kamara and hit on a slant every once in a while, and you should be all right. Just don't throw it to the other team.
That's it. And then, the thing with Peyton is, I mean, that's obviously Drew Brees having a great year. You can't take it away from him, but Peyton understands and plays to strengths of not only his quarterback, but his offensive receivers, tight end, and running back. And not only that, his defense in the same way. So, I mean, if anyone could figure it out, even if the game plan, maybe they'll throw the ball deeper down, I mean, whatever it's going to be, he's going to be in the best position to succeed out of probably any other, certainly most places in the league. So look what Peyton was able to do with Teddy B last year. Went 5-0 as a starter. And what's what he did with Brees this year? I mean, clearly last year playoff, he couldn't reach. Now he's having the same thing, just a different type of plays and stuff. So,
all right, well, let's move on. Maybe we'll start looking at some picks for the week. You ready?
Yeah, how about, well, is there less? I can't let just, we mentioned the NBA draft here a minute ago. I cannot, how excited were we for the NFL draft compared to this draft? Like, this is not even on my radar. And I don't know if it's not that there's really a number one pick per se, but and based on sports going on, but I can't tell you how excited we were. We had money on the draft, and even Nick, we were all going back. It was crazy. So, just how times have changed in a positive way in terms of at least what's going on in sports, that we don't really care about the NBA draft at this point.
Right. I think maybe the star power isn't there, but maybe that's due partly to the NCAA basketball, getting canceled at the end of last season, where we didn't really see some of these guys.
That's a great point. Yeah, who knows?
Maybe that has something to do with it. But LaMelo Ball didn't play college at all, so he's known to be as one of the top.
Yeah, he's now the second. I think the favorite is a dude from Georgia, Anthony Edwards. Isn't that? This just for like the last year and a couple years ago, the Cavs picked a dude, Anthony Bennett from UNLV, and it did nothing. It's kind of a similar year. That's the same year Giannis got drafted. I think he got drafted 15th. So it's just weird. I mean, we're
Zion type guy up there.
All right, we'll be gambling on the NBA come December 22nd,
right.
Or damn sure. So, and we are fans of the NBA. It's just funny. Just a little comment on that. That's one thing that I was thinking about.
Yeah. Real quick reminder. Don't forget Thursday night. I got an email from the guys at Thrive Fantasy today. Promo code WagerMakers. You get a match, whatever you put on over $20 if you use promo code WagerMakers. And they got all kinds of prop bets and all kinds of things going on for the Thursday night NFL game, Webb. That's the Seattle and Arizona.
That is going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good.
All right, so let's
it's a good way to gamble, especially on the fantasy stuff. And the dollar amounts are small or as big as you want to be. So, and there are guaranteed payouts, like same with what we're doing. Someone's getting paid in ours, no matter how many people enter.
Yep.
I got to take my gloves off to check my phone, Smitt.
All right. I knew you had the hat and the hoodie on. I didn't know you had the gloves on too.
I think we covered everything here. Yeah, let's start.
All right, let's go right into some picks.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes here.
All right, we'll start out in college. Just maybe go down the list and see if the other couple games on Thursday night. Webb, our Tulane Green Wave is catching some points from Tulsa.
I do. I like that a little bit. I'm not overly. I mean, tonight I do like our plays tonight. I really like Northern Illinois plus the 14. That Western Michigan over. That line kind of went back and forth a little bit. I think they were +1, ended up -1, and then Toledo and the over. I like that as well. So I feel good about tonight's picks. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow's Thursday, and it's getting 6.5. I like Tulane for 6.5. They've been solid for us. Tulsa hurts us a couple times. We bet against them, I think.
Yep.
I do like Tulane tomorrow plus the 6.5.
Yep. Tulsa's coming off a big win last week against, I think it was SMU, and Tulane. We actually picked Army for Veterans Day last week against Tulane, and Tulane ended up beating them. So. All right, then I think the Utah State and Wyoming was canceled. I'm seeing here for COVID. I would imagine there's a few games on Friday night.
November 20th, Syracuse plus 18 at Louisville, and then we got New Mexico plus 7 at Air Force, and then UMass at FAU. My Florida Atlantic, that was a good pick. That was a nice pick by me last week. That's -32.5. I actually do think they'll cover that. Believe it or not, UMass is not going to score more than 10 points. That's a tough night. I don't really see much there. I'm thinking probably Air Force. New Mexico's not good. Air Force got that funky. They got that funky whatever triple option that they run. And fuck Louisville. I don't know what Syracuse is doing, but if I had to, I would take the 18 with Syracuse, and I will bet Air Force, and I'll put a entertainment value bet on FAU as well.
Right. They also have a Big Ten battle that night. Purdue and Minnesota. Minnesota's been awful.
I do not have that here on my list. Yeah, fuck them. I'm done. I'm not betting on Minnesota again. I would take Purdue. And now Purdue just had a decent win too, I think. That's fine. I'll take. Yeah, I think it was 2.5.
Played Iowa or Northwestern last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think it was Iowa, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I would take
Northwestern. Oh, they lost 27-20 to Northwestern last week. Actually,
Northwestern is legit. It's pretty is decent. They're legit. So I would take either way. It doesn't even matter. I'm not betting on Minnesota again this year. So.
All right, let's stick to FAU and Air Force and Tulane so far on the early week, and then moving into Saturday, Webb. Indiana's played really well, but they played well against teams like Penn State, who turns out to be shit, and Michigan State maybe, who turns out to be shit. Now they're playing Ohio State, Webb. I gotta feel like they can beat any team by 30 points.
I got 20.5 here. Yeah, I got no problem betting Ohio State. I don't think they've played real well yet, certainly on the defensive side of the ball. So that they're due for a good one. This may be something they're just waiting for a challenge, kind of flex their muscles a little bit, especially, you got to look at some of these teams with Clemson losing. That kind of really changes what they're thinking. I mean, I think everyone, these teams, these couple of top, they're going to punch it. So I do like that. There's another one that caught my mind or caught my eye. Rutgers, first of all. How can Rutgers lay 10.5 points to Michigan? Unbelievable. I think not that I think it's a good bet, but I'm just saying that's how far Michigan has fallen.
Right. But I'm thinking, Webb, you got to take Michigan in this game. I mean, don't they have to be better? Like, first of all, we took Rutgers last week and they let us down.
They did.
Then doesn't Michigan have to win at some? Don't they have to have enough players across the board that no matter who's calling plays or no matter who is, what's going on, that they can catch points?
If they run a draft. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're laying 10.5 points. I'm sorry. I read it back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Playing minus 10.
All right.
That's my fault. That changes everything.
All right. We'll move on.
Yeah, that's my fault. How about this one? NC State, I think they impressed me a couple times. I'm thinking NC State minus 3.5 against Liberty. And that dude, Liberty, the coach is Hugh Freeze. And they want him to be the coach of who just got fired? South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that. And he's got a long history. I think he was the coach of Ole Miss, and there was some scandal there or something. But he's been around, so I don't know if it's that a good thing or a bad thing. But I was looking at that one a little bit.
Yeah, Liberty's undefeated, and if they're looking, you see that South Carolina fired Muschamp last week. Dude gets to collect $13.5 million.
Yeah, must be good tough to suck at your job. Yeah, it's good to be horrible at your job.
You suck so bad at your job that we're going to give you $13.5 million to leave.
To stay away. Just don't come around here. Unbelievable.
All right. NC State's minus 3.5. Liberty is undefeated.
They are. I don't know who they played.
They beat Virginia Tech. They beat Syracuse by 17. Louisiana Monroe by 33. I think that was back when ULM had some COVID issues, but still, they beat Virginia Tech in a crazy ending in that one about 2 weeks ago. And then Southern Miss, they beat up on too. Yeah, NC State's coming off a nice win against Florida State, and they lost tough ones to Miami and North Carolina.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep going. Maybe I looked at Maryland minus 6 over Michigan State. What do you think of that one?
I do like Maryland.
All right,
I like Maryland.
That's easy enough.
If I had batteries in the yes buzzer, I would press
yes. All right, gotcha. The Pac-10, dude, I don't know. I know we did good betting against Stanford last week. Who we had somebody?
We had Oregon, and actually I was going to like Oregon against this week. They're playing UCLA, I believe, and laying like 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. I think UCLA is just not. I mean, they're on name alone, but actually they did beat Cal last week pretty good. I don't know
that Cal is any good either. It's just weird. I mean, the jury's out. I think Stanford's no good. They're laying 2 to Washington State. Oregon State's plus 3.5 against Cal. Washington 11.5 against Arizona. What are we looking for? UCLA?
Well, yeah, Oregon's playing UCLA.
Yeah, I don't see them.
The one game I did like in the Pac-12 that I was looking at, USC's kind of struggled in their first 2 games. They came. There was a last-second win, I think, to Arizona, then a last-second win to Arizona State. But they're playing Utah. Utah has yet to play it yet this year. I feel like USC, by a field goal, might be a good
I think I like that too. They're supposed to be pretty good, and they've had some tough luck. I think they're just kind of getting everything out of them. That quarterback is legit. I do like that one as well. I did find that's like the first that UCLA game's like the first one on the board. That's odd. They're usually at the bottom. UCLA's plus 13.5 at Oregon. I got no problem going. If you want to take Oregon, we're gonna. That's fine with me.
All right.
What are you thinking in a Cincinnati Central Florida game? Cincinnati -6 at UCF.
I'm not crazy. We usually love UCF, but I love both of those.
Yeah, so you got to stay away there. I was thinking.
Right. I think at home, maybe catching points, that might be one to look at, but right. I'm gonna probably stay away. Yeah. I was thinking about possibly East Carolina. Both of those teams stink. East Carolina and Temple. I just think Temple stinks a little more.
They do. They do for sure. I mean, that's a 12 o'clock game. That may be something going on here. Yeah, Temple's not good at all. East Carolina we bet against them when they fucked us fairly recently. I'm not sure what they did last week, but I got no problem. These 3 points is 3.5 points isn't really too much. That's easily overcome. I think that's all right. Let's maybe put a question mark on that one.
Right. I was looking at Webb. Alabama is playing Kentucky. Now, Kentucky's got a pretty good defense, but Alabama puts up 40 points against everybody. But Kentucky, Webb, does not score a point. And I was looking at the under in this game, to be honest. I think Alabama, it's known that Alabama has been going over, like, if you look at their numbers in games, they go over a lot.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how Kentucky. Now, they scored 38 against Vanderbilt last week, but that's Vanderbilt. Right. The game before that, scored 3 against Georgia. They scored 10 against Missouri. They scored a good number against Tennessee, but I was watching that game, and Tennessee gave them turnover after turnover after turnover.
I think we had Tennessee. Yeah, we bet that guy. That's when the Lodi kid fucked us. At 58 points, that's
I just don't see. Like, I could see easily this being 45-10.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Just hope for Alabama's D. We just don't need too many pick sixes. That's what worries me. Turnovers.
Right. And maybe Kentucky's defense is good enough to at least hold them to 30. Maybe they hold them to 30.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, but you're right. Defensive touchdowns will be the things that get us in that one.
And then that one quarter, that one receiver's out for Alabama. Waddle, I think his name is. But let's do it. That's a kind of a contrarian play that may hit. I was thinking that Florida too is laying 31.5 at Vanderbilt. We just said that Kentucky scored 30.
Right.
Kyle Trask is in the running for the Heisman. I don't know if the kid Pitts is playing. He's going to be a first round pick, that tight end. If he is, he's going to score twice, no doubt. So they're going to put, how many points you think Vanderbilt's going to score? I guess it's going to come down to, if they score 17, it'll be 17. Close.
I was thinking 20, and that would put us right at the mesh point, kind of. If you're thinking Florida puts up 50, that would put us right close.
So I'm going to have to do something at noon. So that's still, we talked about another one.
What about I think Trevor Lawrence is coming back for Clemson, and this is a game when they're playing Florida State. They usually get up, to kind of beat the shit. I know we're talking about 35 points here, Webb, but
36, yeah.
But they might be ready to come out and whoop some butt.
I just got a breaking news here. First round, first pick. Who did they take? Doesn't even say. Anyway, sorry. Clemson 36. I'll say this. I certainly wouldn't take Florida State.
Of course. And that was the game we went to last year. I think I was laying like 30-something points to Clemson, but that was in Clemson. I mean, laying to Florida State, but that was in Clemson. And they covered pretty easily.
Anthony Edwards.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
Yeah,
but Trevor,
I'm going to stress
one is coming back. Back rolling.
Yeah, well, he's going to, they're going to get him.
Coming off a loss.
Well, that's the thing. They're going to have to put they may put a 7 up here. They may score 10 touchdowns. So I wouldn't, let's see where we're at here at the end.
All right. Well, what else you see out there that you like? There's an interesting game, LSU.
It's tough. I'm still
and
waiting.
LSU and Arkansas,
Arkansas, yeah.
and Tennessee
Michigan, Northwestern.
game too.
Yep. Tennessee, Auburn, and at Northwestern, Michigan, Wisconsin, Northwestern rather.
I like Wisconsin in that, to be honest. I know Northwestern's played better.
7.5.
Maybe buy that to 7.
Yeah, we could do that for sure. We got Oklahoma State at Oklahoma. I mean, I'd take Oklahoma State plus the 7 there, no? And over 59.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma cannot stop anybody.
Right. Bedlam. That's the Bedlam game they call it, I think.
Yeah, I would. Let's do that. Auburn, Tennessee minus 11 in Auburn. That to me, I can't go either way. Texas minus 29.5 over Kansas.
Kansas is terrible. Terrible. But
that may be something. Texas isn't good, but right. How many we got so far for sure?
All right, so we got Tulane, FAU, and Air Force. That's our like weeknight games. Okay?
Right, gotcha.
And then we got Ohio State, Maryland, USC, Oregon, under Bama, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma State. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on Saturday. On there's a limited number of games here. So,
all right. Did we put Florida down there? Put Florida on there.
All right, Florida.
That's a noon game, and then let's put Oklahoma State on there.
Yeah, I got that already.
Oh, okay. And that we talked about. Your Coastal Carolina is playing Appalachian State. That's going to be a good game too.
That's
I don't know what to do in the game.
Teams that we like. Again, 2 teams.
Yeah.
That we like,
How about East Carolina against Temple?
All right, we can add that one.
And that should give us 9. And then if you want to throw one up for the 10th to let us get to 8 and 2.
What about Tennessee getting points to Auburn? You think they can keep it close? Or
I don't trust that quarterback at all.
Okay.
At all.
Iowa State over Kansas State, or vice versa?
I think Iowa State is pretty good. I know they hurt us earlier in the season. I would take Iowa State there. That's a harder than.
All right.
It's a tougher place to play. That should give us 10, I think.
Oh, which one we taking? What are we taking?
Let's take, or do you want to take Illinois plus 14.5 at Nebraska?
I don't know. That's garbage, man.
All right.
Hold on.
No, there it is. All right, so just take, which one did we say? Oh, Iowa State.
Iowa State, all right.
That should be 10.
All right, Tulane, FAU, Air Force, Ohio State, Maryland, USC, Oregon, under Bama, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, East Carolina, and Florida.
Winners, 8 and 2.
All right, winners. All right, let's go look at the NFL. Web starts Thursday night. That's going to be an intriguing game. That Seattle and Arizona.
I'm down on the Seahawks, regardless of what they're doing. Listen, Russell Wilson played great. That's why it's a 16 game, however long season. Not playing great now. Seattle -3, 57.5. I don't see how this game doesn't go over 57.5. So that's my easy play on this game. If you want to take a side, I would take the points, but I wouldn't be surprised if Russ kind of snaps out of it here a little bit. Arizona's playing well. They're probably damn close to exceeding their wins for the year. But I do like the over. They're going to score points.
All right, we'll stick with just no reason why we got to go a play every time. We'll stick with the over in that game. Gotcha. Moving on to Sunday, Webb. I liked the Browns last week laying 3 or 4. I like them again this week I think the Browns have scored a little bit the last 2 weeks, but that's because they've been at home a couple weeks and it's just been like terrible weather conditions. I think they're just a better team than the Eagles at this point, to be totally honest.
Wait, I'm in the wrong week. Hold on.
Come on, man. Get with the week. Get with the right week.
I went too far. Browns. I don't see that I have a line here. That's why. Yeah, I'm on November 29. Line here for that, but I have no problem going against the Eagles. That he's going to turn the ball over twice. they can grind you out with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So I don't. And what's his name is going to get a sack or two, Myles Garrett. So I got no problem with that. But as of now, I don't have it on the other sheet here. I don't know why that is.
Maybe somebody's hurt. COVID. Who knows what. So, all right, we're going to take the Browns. Anybody else you see off the top of your head looking at stuff?
Steelers -10 at Jacksonville is easy.
All right. Problem with that?
If things play out how they played, I think Minnesota beats Dallas by 7. But stranger things have happened.
I feel like I've seen the Vikings lose so many times in that building. It seems like at Dallas. Oh, it's
in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, huh? Isn't your boy from the Bengals back, huh, Dalton?
Yeah, he's back. Dalton's back, and a couple other people are back. So, this will be not that they're in good shape, but better shape the Cowboys have been in quite some time. Coming off the bye, I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I'm not 100% on that one, but that's something I was looking at.
I'll be honest. I think I like the Colts this week. I don't know why. I think they play good D. I think they play the kind of team that gets after the Packers. They're coming off a good win on that Thursday night game. We were against them last week with Tennessee, and they go back home. I think the Packers defense is terrible. So I think the Colts will be able to move the ball and get some points, and I think they'll be able to get after Rodgers a little bit. I kind of like the Colts in that game.
They don't put any pressure on the quarterback. Those two Smith, bro. They had it, I guess, last year or maybe early this year. But I have no problem taking the Colts. It's funny when they took your boy out and put Jacoby Brissett in there to run a quarterback sneak.
For a quarterback sneak. And that's how we got the over. But they were down at the goal line. I'm like, look at this. Their lineup looks like they're going to go for a quarterback sneak. I didn't realize at the time it was Brissett until he got across the line. I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah. That's fine. I'll take that. -1.5 is no problem.
I also like the Chargers. San Diego Superchargers this week, Webb. I think they score
half. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Fuck it. That's my team. Let's take it.
I'm waiting for you
really
to see the Chargers hat on.
Yeah. I don't see. Is that the full slate of games? Is that everything? Let me see. Arizona, we covered that. Atlanta and the Saints.
The Bengals and the Skins, or team formerly known as the Skins.
Yeah, I don't know that. The Texans and Patriots. I got no feel. Rams and Bucks.
Like Lions and Panthers are like the same team to me. They
is
like
Bridgewater playing.
As far as
that's not up to you. It's not. That's why my slate's because there's 2 games. I don't have the Eagle game on here, and that's why my slate's.
Titans Ravens, Webb. The Titans are catching 6.5, according to the ESPN app here.
I don't have that one up here.
The Ravens are not that good.
They're vastly overrated.
This is the kind of game that all of a sudden Lamar Jackson will just run all the. We had him last.
Yeah. No, and they looked horrible. Well, here's the thing. Here's a couple things. I'm going to pat myself on the back for saying pump the brakes on Lamar Jackson. I was sitting at this very table a while back saying he was the second coming. So he did win an MVP, deserved it. It's much like Robert Griffin III. Let's see what happens with this team. And they're not even impressive here. We're talking about betting against them here. So now here's the thing with the time. Literally the worst special team that we've ever seen in history. The dude that misses kicks, they shank punts. Yep. That to me, we're getting, that's a difference between a 6-point loss and a 17-point loss or something, or certainly a 10-point loss. So that gives me pause on that. It's in Minnesota, where
it's
Tennessee.
In Baltimore. It's in Baltimore.
6.5.
Tennessee was the team that really the first team that under Mike Vrabel that really shut down Lamar Jackson last year. They were the ones that in the playoffs it was like a shocking game that came out and
all right, let's take Tennessee. Let's do it.
All right. There you go. Jets charge Dolphins and Broncos play, the Patriots and the Texans.
What's the number on? I don't have that Denver game either. What do you got in for there?
Denver laying 3.
Are they going to win again, the Dolphins?
I don't know. And I think the Broncos, while they're 3-6, I don't think they're as bad as some other 3-6 team.
Well, ridiculously hot and cold, right? Like the dude went into New England and lit us up. I think he cost us a suicide pick. Yeah. And then he shit the bed, I think, a couple weeks in a row. I mean, I think the Dolphins are better.
Against the Raiders last week cost us an over.
Yeah,
when we're going in for scores.
So I don't have much of a feeling on that. How many do we got right now?
Well, also just the Patriots go to the Texans, and the Patriots are laying 2.
I can't bet that game either. Both teams suck.
Right now, we only have 6, but there's also a Sunday night and a Monday night game. The Chiefs go to the Raiders, and the Chiefs are laying 7.5.
My initial feeling, that's a big half point. That's my initial feeling on this. I think the Raiders are overachieving. So I'm going to lean towards, and you do like the overs. What's the total? Let's see if I even have that game. I don't have that game up either. Fuck.
This over is big, I'm sure. Oh, that one's not showing. That one's not showing on my on the ESPN at this point. The over.
I would take the away team there. I'd buy that to 7. I would take Kansas City.
All right. I'm not crazy about that, but I'm okay with. I mean, I'll never say no to taking Kansas City. And then the Monday night game is we've been on Tampa Bay a lot.
I got that one here. Okay, good.
But I kind of feel like the Rams catching points might be a play here.
+4 and 48.5. Yeah, I mean Tampa Bay is unimpressive as well. I mean, I kind of put them in the same category as Baltimore, although I was much higher on Tampa Bay than I was Baltimore. Tampa's got a defense which is different. The left tackle, what's his name, Whitmore, is out for the year for the Rams. I'm not sure what that's going to do. +4. I mean, it's a tough pay. If you want to take the points, that's fine. You're giving me the Chiefs. Well, I will take the Rams. I like the Rams, but in general, but I don't know. Tampa Bay, again, I'm still waiting for them to put a full game together.
Right. So that gives us eight plays, Webb. Over Seattle, the Browns, the Steelers, the Colts, the Chargers, the Titans, the Chiefs, and the Rams.
I'm wondering how high that total is going to end up being on Sunday night.
Like I saw it one day but earlier, and then now it's not there where I'm looking right now. So,
I mean, it's not going to be higher than the 57.5 in Arizona, Seattle. I still like it. I think you're going to see, it's going to be 28. It's going to be right around, 56 points, I would guess. So I would take the over there too if it's anything under, 58, something like that.
Right. Let me see. I'm showing. $56.5.
Yeah, I like over. I like over.
All right. Well, let's do it then. Over KC.
Yeah, do that. And then
so we got.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Nah, keeps popping up on my phone. Anthony Edwards went first to Minnesota. Golden State took James Wiseman, the kid who kind of played for Memphis, and then what's his name? LaMelo went to. I guess that's the Hornets. Is that the Hornets? Number 3? Yeah. Wow. Michael Jordan took Ball. So that's the top 3 in the NBA draft.
Cool. Interesting. There you go. Look, willing to see Pelicans Griffin keeps making moves and getting picks, but picks don't win the fucking champion. I got a lot of picks now. Picks don't win. Let's get some fucking players.
You got to do something with the picks.
Let's get some players.
Exactly.
You got big trade yesterday. You got rid of Drew Holiday. And for Bledsoe, but I don't know if they're going to use him in a trade bait for somebody else. But they got more picks. But already you wasted Zion's first year resting him and coddling like a fucking baby.
Yeah, I agree.
And then like you only got so many years with these guys,
right? You can be real built forever, right?
One of his hopefully 10 years in the NBA is gone,
right. Yep.
Because you were like, well, we got to take it easy with this guy,
and especially a crazy wacky year when anything kind of funked up could have happened, and they bent the rules for you. They don't pick the 13th. Wow. Start getting some
players.
Right.
Start getting some players.
Right.
The bottom of the NBA draft, you get lucky if you get a player. That's it. So you can have all the picks you want.
Exactly. Right. Once you even get out of the top, whatever.
Top 3. I think this was it. It was a 3-person draft in this one.
Right.
All right. So the picks this week, we got over Seattle, Browns, Steelers, Colts, Chargers, Titans, Kansas City, over Kansas City and the Rams.
What's that?
That's ninth
seven?
place. Ninth
Yeah,
place.
that's good. That's good.
All right.
9 is good.
So that's that. Hopefully, Webb, the COVID stays down enough where we can keep playing ball.
Oh,
And
please,
I have to
please,
bust out
please.
the guitar.
Right.
if you
Guitar, you
keep
get the
stepping
beard going. If you're
I might have
drinking the
to-
Maker's Mark 50.
If they start making stepping back around here, I might get back to playing the old guitar and getting my whiskey out.
Hey guys, it's Devin. Make sure you subscribe to the Wager Makers podcast on YouTube, like all their videos, and click that bell so that you turn on your post notifications and you never miss another video.
Welcome to the Wager Makers podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Wager Maker Podcast.
Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Here comes the Wager Maker
Here I go.
Express.
I hear y'all sick of losing money cause y'all don't know how to bet. Better hit that Wager Maker Podcast with Smitt and Webb. They gon' show y'all how to do this. Take these notes like y'all some students. Y'all can't seem to pick them right, but tonight y'all lucky night. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Your bookie getting sick cause we built this brick by brick. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Come and place your bets with that WM Express. Let's go.